Rep. When I grow up, I would like to have muscles like you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have one question for you, former DP. You've talked about 2027 being an important election for the whole of Kenya, just based off everything that's happening, the crisis and all. But then you've mentioned a lineup of people who, in one way or another, have failed the country. You've mentioned Kalonzo, Wamalwa, Martha Karua, and all the other people who are running. But in one way or another, each of them have had backroom deals in the past to more or less further their own agendas. So as the young adults who are thinking at 2027, we don't want a repeat and a recycling of the same tyrants who've been up and up again. What do you tell us if you yourself have said you were the one who gave Ruto the votes to win back then, right? You're the one who gave him Mount Kenya. So why should we as the young adults getting into 2027 trust you to lead us again to another election when you say, what's the word for it? The lineup of 2027 will not be announced until the end, so it's not affected by Ruto. Why should we then, close to the election in 2027, trust your judgment when back then it's given us Ruto right now? So why should we trust you in 2027 when we are where we are right now?
That's a good question. I have said about the people who have declared, the field is open. We are waiting for people to come up, including the young people. Unfortunately, the few who had come up initially were compromised by Kasongo. So you have seen them. Those young ones. One is with Raila, the other one is with Kasongo. So as we go on, the people of Kenya will choose among those who come up. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with the new blood. But the new blood must offer themselves for leadership. You know, the young people are saying, we want young blood. I'm asking the young people, let them come up and come and sell themselves to the people of Kenya. Number two, why should you trust me? It's true, I made an error judgment. In my community, they say, making a mistake is not bad. What is unacceptable is repeating the same mistake. I had the choice to stay with Ruto and oppress Kenyans, and I decided not to. I gave up a job, a good job, very lucrative, with privileges, to stand with the people of Kenya. If I was a selfish person, if I was like Ruto, I would have just agreed to what he wanted. We just hung together, we killed children, or with Raila, you give him some little money, he hangs around. And why the young people trust me? When they needed somebody to stand with them, at their lowest, when they were being killed and called criminals and being butchered, I, as deputy president, stood with them and said, this is unacceptable. I cannot accept it, Mr. President. And I was the deputy president. And Ruto could not believe it, that I could tell him off when I'm in office. That's why the Gen Zs back home, they love me because I'm a very principled leader. And I am tested that when it mattered most, I made a decision that to some people looked very foolish and very dangerous, but to many people looked very courageous. It cost me a job, but I still think it was the right decision. Given another opportunity, I will still make the same decision. And the people of Kenya will make a decision whether they can trust me or not, and they will judge me depending on how I have acted before, where I needed to make a decision between standing with the truth and standing with comfort. So, tutaendelea. And why we are saying we have to wait is that we need one candidate to face this man. With his state resources and what he controls, if we name a candidate now, atamsumbua sana. Sana. So we have to be strategic because we are not just dealing with just any ordinary Kenyan. So it's just a question of strategy. As for now, our candidate is Ruto must go. Our plan is one term. Okay? It must remain that way for quite some bit of time. And he's very unhappy with it. He's very unhappy with it. Anataka tuseme ni rigiji. Ndio aseme hii mtu ni mukabila. Nini atufungulie makesi nini what atusumbue to make sure that we cannot even campaign. So acha akae namna hiyo. Candidate, his opponent for now is Ruto must go, and the plan for the opposition is one term. Akae na hiyo kwanza.
Okay. So thank you for coming and visiting. My questions are two. The first one is related to development and property acquisition. So we know today it takes so long to go through that process. I mean, it could be years. In my family, we have two cases. One is 17 years, the succession issue. Another one is 6 years waiting to have some subdivision and all that. So when you look at those kinds of things, they discourage people from acquiring property.
Yes, true.
Discourage us from sending more money back to buy things back home. And in contrast with the US, you have places where this process takes like 30 days. And you might not even need to meet the person selling the property. Everything goes so smoothly, and within 30 days, everything is done. And I keep wondering, why can't we do that in Kenya as well? Because we will get the funds sent back to Kenya quicker because we are able to build more stuff there. The government will get its tax, its stamp duty quick, and maybe foreign investors will also be encouraged to send money back, to invest in Kenya. So I think that is something within the government's power to accelerate so that we can make it easier for people to complete property transactions.
Yes.
And second, last one is, it seems like we are coaching Kenyans to have a bad relationship with tax. And really it's the only way we can provide government services. So I'm not sure what would be your approach to raising government funds without necessarily antagonizing people with tax, because I feel like they're getting to a point where they will feel that they really don't need to pay tax, and tax is a bad thing. Thank you.
Thank you. On the issue of property acquisition and delays and bureaucracy and red tape, it is true. It's something that we need to do as an administration, together with the National Assembly and the Senate, to really review our land laws. The Lands Act and the property acquisition procedures, to make them friendly, to make them easy. Most of these laws were crafted during the colonial period. A few amendments have taken place, but not sufficiently radical to make it easy for people to acquire property, to charge, and to transact. It's something that myself, I have really thought about, and it's something that we will need also your input and others, and check what happens in other jurisdictions so that we can borrow from the world best practices. How do we make it easy for people to acquire property without compromising on safety and due diligence and care, so that we avoid fraud? So that is something that we'll commit. On the issue for taxation, nobody has a problem with the taxation. People have a problem with their taxes being misappropriated and stolen and being misapplied. No Kenyan has a problem. Mwai Kibaki, the celebrated third president of the Republic of Kenya, raised revenue from 200 billion to 1 trillion. And there was no outcry in the country because people could see the taxes were being used properly. You know? Mwai Kibaki was very clear about taxation. Alisema kulipa ushuru ni kujitegemea. But he used the money to educate our children free. He used the money to put up Thika superhighway. He used the money to bring about M-Pesa. He used the money to do rural electrification. No Kenyan has a problem with paying taxes. What Kenyans want, one, is No taxation without representation. Let it be discussed properly. Number two, when the taxes are raised and collected, people want return on investment. They want to see their taxes are bettering their lives. And that is what we want to commit to do. Taxes we will collect. But we will collect the taxes that are reasonable so that you also don't kill the goose that lays the golden egg. You don't overtax people, because you can overtax people, then they are unable to work. You tax reasonably and then apply those taxes appropriately in a transparent manner that is verifiable. People pay taxes and then they see a road has come up. They pay taxes, they see they are enjoying electricity. They pay taxes, they go to hospital, they find there is medicine. Nobody has a problem with paying taxes. Two more questions now.
Thank you so much. This is just to the diaspora. We've begun the process of going to Congress. President Ruto has defiled the Leahy Act here by using the military last year. So that kind of gives us grounds, but we are trying. So if you're here and you have expertise and can guide us and help us, or even know someone in the Foreign Relations Committee or any committee, please help us so that we can advance this forward. And also we are starting a Kenyan series on August 3rd at the Sankofa. It's going to be talking about the politics of Kenya, colonization period, independence period, and the Kenya now. Again, it's going to be August 3rd, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. at the Sankofa in DC.
I'll connect you with some people. By the way, did I explain myself on the narrative of tribalism? Did I make sense?
So what I'm wondering is, if we Gen Zs don't understand the mountain narrative, how are you going to engage us and find a way to position yourself or position these politics beyond one term and beyond the defense of Mulima? And by the way, I'm not embarrassed to be Kikuyu. I'm from Kirinyaga and Nyeri. You know, you can't get Kikuyu than that. You know, I'm very Kikuyu, but we have, you know, but that's just the truth. How are you going to convince us? Because, you know, I'm trying to explain to you the way we see it, right? There is that pride, yes, you know, of being a Kikuyu. You know, but there is also a people who don't see that. And we as Gen Zs are saying we are tribeless and we are fearless. And the politics being done now is the way it was done 20 years ago, 10 years ago, you know. And that is what is really scaring us, because if we divide ourselves, if you say you're coming to the defense of Mulima, then there's someone in, I don't know, Rift Valley or Western, who will also say they are going to that defense. And then there will be another group, I don't know, in, where? Coast, yeah, we are going to that defense. And then now, there will be a vacuum gap, and then Ruto will become president.
I feel you. And the Gen Zs will help us deal with that nonsense, because they are tribeless and they are fearless and they want change, and nobody can intimidate them or coerce them. But before the Gen Zs help us to have that change, those communities that are targeted by Ruto for extinction must be protected. Because if they are not, there will be nobody to vote. So I hear you, and I understand the way you think, but I also want to tell you, at back home, the Gen Zs your age understand what's going on, because they are just there, and they are feeling it. They can see that persecution, they can see the discrimination, they can hear the talk, and they can see the way they are being targeted. Because when you go to Kahawa court of terrorism, and out of 100 people charged, 96 are from one area. In the cells, they talk among themselves and wonder what is happening. Yeah. So that is a situation that is there. And it behoves upon leaders, if a people are under siege, those people must be cushioned from destruction and from fear. Because if they become fearful, then the oppressor has succeeded. You see, people want to intimidate people into fear. The Gen Zs cannot be intimidated. But the rest of the population, they buy fear quite quickly. So we must keep on reassuring them, no, 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 no. Nobody will target you. Nobody will wipe you out. Nobody will destroy your businesses so that they feel comfortable and they are able to soldier on. You must keep on giving people assurances, especially where fear is being sold. Most of members of parliament are one term, but they cannot dare say because of fear. They cannot even go to a meeting where one term is being discussed because of fear. So you just find a few of them who are courageous. And that's where the Gen Zs now have become a movement, because they are fearless and they simply don't care. And it has even reached a place where I had to ask the Gen Zs, please, you have made your point. This guy has said you should be shot, and he's doing it. I'm requesting you, much as you are fearless, I need you to help me get the change. And for you to be useful, and for you to enjoy the change you desire, you need to be alive. And this guy is already killing you. So much as you are fearless, you cannot walk into death when you can see this is death, isn't it? So we have to blend that courage, that fearlessness, also with reality. And as a parent, as an elder, I also have a responsibility also to guide my children. Where I feel they are in danger, where I can see they can lose their lives, I have a responsibility, much as they are fearless, much as we need them to help us get the change that we desire. It will be responsible on my part as a leader to allow them to walk into death when I can see. So we continue balancing these things. It's a very difficult, delicate act, but we are getting there. So don't worry, my dear, things will be okay. I'll connect with some people so that we can work around what you are doing, and you are doing a good thing. Please continue with that advocacy, and that is the way to go. And I want to assure you, young girl, don't ask me what I'll do for you if I'm elected president or in the government that will form. I want you to come to be part of that government. We do it together. I want the Gen Zs to sit on the decision-making table so that they are part of the solution of Kenya's problem. I am also aware sufficiently that these Gen Zs who are pushing Ruto to the corner and is not sleeping. Once we are elected, if we don't measure up to their expectation, they will drive us out of town. Very furiously and with brutal efficiency. So the only way for us to be safe is to bring the Gen Zs on board so that if there is a backlash, we suffer together from their colleagues. Last one, so that we have to go. Okay.
Hi, cousin.
Hi, cousin.
I'm speaking on behalf of cousins.
Yes, please do.
I'm not from Central Province. I'm from your cousin section.
Yes.
So my question is direct, and it is about job creation.
Yes.
I want to talk about national job creation and arid and semi-arid areas job creation, because I think if we create those jobs, we are going to stabilize that country. So my first question is at national level. What are your plans to create jobs? To create jobs in Kenya? And my second question is still about creating jobs, and I want to talk about an area that we feel like we are not in the planning table with the rest of, we haven't been there for a long time. That is arid and semi-arid areas. When you look at the statistics in Kenya, 80% of the country is arid and semi-arid. And when you look at these arid and semi-arid areas, we do have a lot of natural resources. We have 12 hours of sunshine. We have rivers that have water that goes all over to the ocean. And in conclusion, I would like to say that once you go over the cliff, I don't know whether it's over the cliff, once you take over the government, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
No, not once you take over the government, what are your plans to create employments, and not just laborers, not farm laborers, to empower the people in the rural areas. Those are the people I'm talking about, in the rural areas, so that they can start their own agribusiness. What tools are you going to give them? What marketing efforts? What technology? So that they don't just go and work for that 450 shillings per day, to make them employers as well. And in conclusion, I would like to say, I like the way you said, us in the diaspora, we are the people who are coming with the solutions. Here in the US, we need you to engage us, to give you solutions, particularly for arid and semi-arid areas. There are certain things we are currently doing there.
Yes.
And they are working.
Yes.
We have piloted, they are working, and people are getting employment. Like for the last maybe 5 years, we have created jobs in certain villages, like over 200 jobs that are sustainable.
Yes.
And we are creating food. We are farming grapes, we are farming oranges, peaches. We are doing that. We are converting deserts into promised land. So we want your team to engage us here in the US,
yes,
so that we can build the country. And we don't want the jobs. We are comfortable here in the US. We have enough here. We have enough pension. Like me, I'm an accountant. I'm a professional accountant here in the US. Okay? So it's not that we want any jobs. We don't want anything to do with corruption. We just want to help our country, and we are bleeding. Thank you.
Thank you, Kuzo. I agree. We need to engage you. That's what we are doing now. And this engagement is continuous. We have to create jobs, and we want to encourage people to come and put up factories for manufacturing in Kenya and cottage industries by making sure that we lessen bureaucracy and we make it easier for people to come and start industries in Kenya, to create employment and to enlarge our tax base. I agree with you, there is huge potential in the arid and semi-arid areas. We have been to Dubai, we have been to Israel, we have seen what technology can do. Those regions are very productive. Again, that is something we want to partner with the diaspora on how we can make that our land, 76% of arid and semi-arid, is productive. Again, we want to change our diplomacy from the traditional diplomacy to commercial diplomacy, so that we can look for markets for Kenyan agricultural produce. Because even if we assist our people to produce food, we create irrigation projects in the rural areas, we must look for a corresponding market for those products. Those are the things we are going to work together, and I want to commit that this engagement will be continuous. We want to borrow from you. You know a lot. We don't know everything, and there is beauty in consultation and getting ideas from other people. So we'll create a framework for this continuous engagement. I want to say thank you very much for listening to me. Let me ask Pastor Dorcas to come and say hi. Sindio?
Your Excellency, one last question. One last question, Your Excellency. Yeah, my name is
Si kumekuwa usiku.
Lazima nikuulize, Excellency. My name is Daniel Ochweri. I think we have been together. I had an opportunity to run for Senate of Nairobi in 2022 election, and I had an opportunity to be shortlisted as a PS, but the shareholding ilinkata mguu. So these are my electorate right here in the United States. They gave us the financing. We came down and we tried to represent them. You have articulated very well that you're going to be engaging the people from the diaspora. Truth to be told, when you come from the diaspora and go back home, it's a different ballgame altogether. So what guarantees are you going to give us as a former vice president and a presidential candidate when we come from the diaspora? We are not going to be disadvantaged from the status quo back at home. That is a big thesis, Your Excellency. You know, it's something that I was removed from the PS list in the morning. Maybe even you're aware about it. Yeah. So how are you going to address the issue of shareholding, and what guarantees are you giving to the diaspora when it comes to issues like that?
Thank you. My presence here in the US for 5 weeks or so is a clear demonstration on my seriousness that I want to engage. I think 5 weeks is not a short time for a leader of my caliber and the kind of work that I have in Kenya. The fact that I've dedicated 5 weeks to come here and engage demonstrates that I have a serious intention to engage. We are in the process of creating consultative structures so that this engagement is continuous. In Nairobi at our DCP office, there is a desk for diaspora, and a few people who have come to Kenya, they have always found and had a discussion with me. I don't want when you come to Nairobi, you come to the countryside, then you are lost, you cannot find anybody. So we have created a mechanism and an office so that where you come on appointment, you'll be having people you can come and meet and engage. You know, people who have been betrayed, they take time to trust. I'm in the same boat. I've been betrayed too. So that makes the two of us. So all I can do is just ask you to trust me. I can't do anything beyond there because I don't know how to convince you that I'm different. The only thing I know is that I've demonstrated that I'm an honest person. I can sacrifice personal comfort for the common good. I also want to succeed. We don't just want William Ruto to go home. We also want our country to be a good country. We want to succeed. And we have agreed here that the diaspora people are a very serious partner for you to succeed. So I will be foolish. I will be short-sighted. I will be unstrategic not to engage because we are looking for partners. How would we develop our country alone? Our public debt now is almost going to 12 trillion. Unless we have serious injection of capital through foreign direct investment, we will not get anywhere. So these people to come and invest in Kenya will come from where? I am sufficiently aware that I must work with you to be able to get people to come and set up those factories, to come and assist us in agribusiness, to come and transform arid and semi-arid lands. I don't just want to run office. I want to run for office, get elected and succeed. And I don't think you can just get into office and just sit pretty. You must get into office and do the right thing for you to succeed. And one of the things we have identified, and that is why I'm here for 5 weeks and I'll be back again next year, is that you are a strategic partner that I need to engage. If you can trust that, tuendelee. If you can't, doubting Thomases are part of our lives. Sindio? And there's nothing you can do because people are people, you know. Tobias and Sanballat, part of our history. They are those who believe when they see, and it is right because people have been betrayed. When I said I'm coming to the US, many people doubted. They said, "You need story ya jamba, story ya town." I'm here. So pole pole tutaenda tukizoeana, and we build trust slowly, isn't it? Trust will build it slowly, and with time you'll come to understand me. I'll come to understand you. I think we'll be good partners. Reverend Dorcas, come and say jambo.
Thank you, Your Excellency, and the good people